Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the new NATASHA Denona holiday releases. These are the mini Zendo palette, which I have right here, as well as the I Need a Nude Glow highlight, which I have right here. There are two lipsticks also in this new little holiday collection, so I did skip those, but I picked up the ones that you guys really wanted to know about. So we're going to be talking all about my review on these two, whether I recommend them or not, if they're worth the price point, as well as some swatches and comparisons. So if you want to see all of that, then just keep watching. And just before we get started, I do want to quickly talk about a palette that a lot of you guys are super excited about. It is this palette right here, which is the Trio Chrome palette, I think is how you say it. And this is supposed to be an actual bigger palette from her. It is her second holiday release coming in November to Sephora. So I will definitely be picking this one up and reviewing it for you guys. So stay tuned for that. But let's get started with this first release first. So we're going to be talking about the I Need a Nude Glow highlighter first. Now this is actually a highlight that costs quite a bit of money. It is a fairly big pan. This is available right now at NATASHA Denona's website as well as Sephora. It runs 42 American dollars or 56 Canadian dollars, which is a bit of a luxury price point, but this is our girl NATASHA's specialty. She is a luxury brand, so it is my job to let you guys know if I think this is worth it. But let's talk about the packaging first. So this is a packaging style very similar to other highlighters she's done. She's done this type of plastic packaging with super glow highlights, and she's also done this type of packaging with her first release, which is the all over shimmer body glows, I think they were called. I think that this one might be discontinued now because I haven't seen it around Sephora, so I'll check her website and see if it's there. But this is the all over glow face and body shimmer powder, and the one that I picked up is #1 light. You can see here that I've actually hit pan on it. It was a fairly good hit for me, and I really liked the shade of this. Now, this one is the same type of plastic packaging, like I said, except it has a really beautiful peachy kind of see-through iridescent top. I really love that. And then it's also kind of like a rose gold packaging all the way across. I just think that is so stunning. The shade here is just I Need a Nude Glow, so it's just one universal shade. The inside of this too is beautiful. So that is also something I've noticed from her super glow highlights as well as her all over body shimmers. It was just a solid pan, I believe. I don't think it had any of these types of detailings pressed into the powder like how this one has, where you have the NATASHA Denona in the corner and then all sorts of geometric shapes pressed into the powder. And you can see that there are certain levels to this powder. There's some that have more of that peachy goldness, and then there's also some that have more of that champagne-y gold, working together to bring you that beautiful highlight shade. Now, a lot of you guys were asking, how does this relate to other ones? We will definitely get to that. But the first thing I want to talk about is this powder and if it's worth the price point or not. So this is an 8-gram powder, and unfortunately I don't have the super glow highlight in my collection, but I do have this all over glow body shimmer. It used to be 10 grams of product, so she has decreased the grams by 2, so it is slightly less, even though it's super smooth to the touch and looks absolutely stunning on the skin. I actually really like it. I think it looks great. I do think that I need to have much more of a bronzier look for it to look much more coordinated. I think that with this one, if I layer too much on, it can start to look very streaky on me just because my skin tone is on the lighter side. So here is the swatch of the shade by itself. You can see how absolutely stunning it is, and this is also done in sunlight. Now here we have the highlight in comparison to some other ones that I have actually in my collection. So going from left to right, we have Charlotte Tilbury's Holiday Highlight, then we have I Need a Nude Glow, so the one we're talking about today. Then we have Amrezy, and then we have the Whisper of Guilt from MAC, and lastly we have the All Over Shimmer highlight from NATASHA Denona on the far right. So you can see that I Need a Nude Glow is still peachier gold than Charlotte Tilbury's, which is a little bit more pink. And then Whisper of Guilt is still a little bit more of that yellowy gold, not so much of that peachy undertone. So although it does have a distinction amongst my highlights, I do think though the biggest thing with this one is that if you are fair or light, you do have to see if you can swatch it in store or see if it will match your skin. Make sure that you are light-handed, especially if you are fair to light, but I do think that this is going to look beautiful on light to medium to tan to deep. This is going to look stunning for this holiday, so I am very, very impressed. The quality is fantastic. I do think it applies effortlessly. In the application clip, I did use a Smith 112 to apply it, and I had no trouble getting pigmentation right away. So definitely a brush to consider for highlight use if you want, but this definitely passes for me with regards to quality. Just double check to make sure that you think this highlight is going to suit your skin tone. Now let's move on to the mini palette. This is the mini Zendo palette, and this retails for 26 American dollars or 33 Canadian. It's also available at Sephora and Natasha's website. Now this was the palette that got a lot of scrutiny as to how close it was to this one, which is mini retro. I did compare them also later on in this video, so we will get to that. Before my look today, I wanted to test these shades to see how this mini palette performed, especially because Natasha is known for a lot of mini palettes, some of them being quite poor in quality and others being fantastic. The last few launches have been more on the fantastic side, which I've appreciated, but some of her earlier releases like Mini Sunset, oh my word, that was not a good one. So for my look today, I went all over the lid with a Wayne Goss number 18, with the first shade being Bear. Bear is a light matte pink. It is so stunning on the lid. I did prime my eyes as per usual with my Smashbox 24-hour eye primer, one of my favorites, and this one glided effortlessly. I felt like it built up really well. It didn't have a ton of fallout either. I actually didn't see quite anything on my skin. There was just a little bit of flecks, but nothing crazy. Very, very easy to use matte shade. Then I went in with the darker shade. Now this one I'm going to give you guys some tips with, not because of the shade, but because of technique. So I went in with the shade Stark, which is the deepest plummy purple. This is a shimmer shade, and this one I used with a smaller brush on purpose. So do make sure, especially if you have hooded eyes like myself, that you are really using a smaller brush for targeted work like this. And what I'm doing with it is I'm using that small brush to gradually build up the color. Because of the hoodedness of my eyes, there's a deeper crease in the middle of my eyelid. And when I start placing the pigment on, I start more on the lower end of my eye, so towards the lash, just so that if it does become more of a heavier punch, I can blend upwards and it won't look like a harsh line. This shade also did very, very well, but I would say between the matte and the shimmer, I did have a little bit more fallout with this plummy shade. So I do think that it is a stunning shade, you guys. Like, look how gorgeous this palette is. It's beautiful, but I do think because of the shimmer component to this pigment, it did fall on my face a little bit more easily. Now the last shade I went in is actually with this guy here. This is called Stripped, and this is also one of the most, I would say, standout shades in this palette. It's that gorgeous silver shimmer, but it also has a rose gold shift underneath. It's really, really beautiful. And this one I actually applied with a fingertip because I did see Natasha apply this with her fingertip on one of her promo videos about this palette, and I really wanted to replicate the look. So this is so stunning. I do think even with finger application, there's slight fallout on the face, but otherwise I think this is a beautiful, beautiful palette so far. Now granted, there are two more shades I have to work with, which are the two on the far right. So I'll definitely update in a future video about those last two shades, but I will tell you guys that they swatch so beautifully too. So let's get onto the swatches. So like I said, these swatches are in Sunlight, and they're about 2 to 3 swipes per color. And you can see here that they're very, very beautiful. We do have 3 shimmers, like I said, and 2 mattes in this palette. A lot of people were saying, is this just mini retro duplicated? And that is something I really wanted to find out also. So here we have both of the palettes together. You can see that obviously mini retro has a sagey green that does not make an appearance in mini Zendo, and it also has more of that beigey matte look versus the pinky mattes that are in mini Zendo. So it's obvious that there are some distinct differences, but some of them are close, like those sparkly pinks or those silvery blues. So in the comparison swatches, you can see here the sparkly pinks are swatched side by side on the far left, and the first one being mini retro, the second one being mini Zendo for each pairing. You can see here that the mattes do have enough distinction between them, and the shimmery pink shades do have enough distinction between them also. What I will say, the closest shade in this palette is definitely the silvery blues. The silvery blues in this palette do vary though, and you can see when you actually swatch them side by side. I really tried to capture this in the swatch, but the Mini Retro one has more of a silvery shift undertone, and the Mini Zendo has a more rose gold shift. So they are different, but upon applying to the eye from far away, I don't think it's going to be different enough for you to be able to distinguish between them. You'd have to be pretty close to that person's face to be able to see the undertone. When I think of this Mini Zendo palette versus Mini Retro, this is what kind of comes to mind. I know it's really silly, but Mini Retro to me is almost like that, you know, everyday friendly palette with those gorgeous like pinks and sages and those beautiful silvers. And for some reason, Mini Zendo gives me the vibe of like Mini Retro version 2.0 sultry edition. Like for some reason, it just gives me those vibes of like romance and sultriness, even though they have some different color stories. Like Mini Retro seems very playful, almost juvenile a little bit, if that makes sense. Like cutesy, but then this one is more sultry, mature, you know? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I do think that both color stories are amazing. If you have the Mini Retro, it's okay to get Mini Zendo because I do think they are different enough. Now, if you guys have been watching till the end of this point, you are very lucky because Secret Santa is back. I don't know if I should call myself Secret Santa, but really I'm trying to embed some of these giveaways in videos so that you don't expect them. They're nice surprises. So around this holiday season, I've been giving away some palettes. I've already given away the Pat McGrath Mega Mothership. I've also given away an Hourglass palette as well. And now we are back with a Mini Zendo giveaway. So there is one more Mini Zendo palette coming to me. It's going to be a giveaway prize. And this is going to be the exact same rules as the other two. Do subscribe to me, make sure you are. Leave a nice comment with your Instagram handle or your email address so I can contact you if you win. And also thumbs up this video if you enjoyed it, if you liked it, if you found it helpful. Just like the other giveaways, I will leave this one open for 2 weeks. It is international as well, so don't hesitate if you're not from Canada. You know what? Enter anyway because I want to make all my giveaways fair, and you guys watch me from all over the world, so everybody is included in this. So the draw date is going to be November 4th, so do make sure that you are checking your Instagram DMs or your email on that date. Do not miss if I contact you because that is very exciting news if you win. So good luck to the winner for this palette. I really do think this is a cute little holiday palette from her. I do think this is worth the buy if you are interested in the color story. It is very well performing so far. I'm going to make sure that I do a quick update with these last 2 shades just to confirm that it's very, very thorough across the board. But so far so good. My first impressions are very, very high. If you have any questions about this palette or the highlight, I'd be happy to help. Leave it in the comment section and leave a comment to enter the giveaway. Good luck, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And until my next one, guys, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.
You and me, everything that we've been through has made us strong. You won't believe we've had our gray, but somewhere there's a light inside of us. It shows the way.